you're going to learn how to write the essay for the ACT. You'll review the steps to writing a great essay and also learn some helpful tips and hints to help maximize your essay score. To give you some background about the essay, let's first discuss how your tests will be graded. Your essay will be graded by 2 people, and each person will assign you a score from 1 to 6, 6 being a perfect score. Since the graders have such limited time to read and grade each essay, the essays are graded holistically. That means that they're graded as a whole without assigning specific point values to different characteristics of your essay. But they look for some specific elements. Here are some important tips to keep in mind. The structure of your essay, the logical flow of your essay, and your ability to support your opinion and stay on topic are more important than the actual content of what you're writing. Remember that the graders know that you have a limited amount of time in which to write, so they focus more on general characteristics rather than specific content. Now, let's talk about how to actually write the essay. First and most importantly, remember that as in all sections, your time. You will have 30 minutes to read the prompt and formulate your essay, which means that you must manage your time accordingly. One of the worst things that you can do is run out of time and not complete your thoughts. So let's start by outlining how to use the allotted 30 minutes. You should spend about 5 minutes brainstorming and outlining your essay. Then, spend about 20 minutes writing the essay. And finally, the remaining few minutes to edit your work. Each of these 3 steps are of equal importance, so be sure to leave time for all 3. First, let's discuss how to brainstorm and outline. On screen, you will see the layout of the prompt and question. These topics are almost always directly relevant to high school students, and there are usually multiple viewpoints from which to choose. You should read these carefully. Feel free to circle or underline key words and phrases before you write anything else. Begin by formulating a thesis. This is when you choose the side of the argument that you'll support. It's extremely important to pick one side and stick with it. Although you will mention both sides, you want your opinion to be clear and your reasoning to be solid. Remember that you're not writing this essay to represent your true feelings, only to earn a high score. It doesn't matter if you personally agree or disagree with the prompt. You should choose the side that you can best support in 30 minutes. One of the criteria that the ACT essay scorers look for is complexity of your argument. By acknowledging the main points of the other side and providing counter-arguments, you show the grader a depth of understanding of the topic that will result in a higher essay score. There are basically 4 different ways you can write a persuasive argument. You can positively support your opinion, stating reasons on why it's the best. Negatively support your opinion, giving reasons why the opposing opinion is bad. Positively oppose your position, which states positive aspects from the opposing idea. And finally, negatively oppose your position, which states reason why your position may be incorrect. The best essays use ideas from all 4 categories, but be sure to mention plenty of positive information about your opinion in order to overcome the potential downside you're admitting. Once you have determined your opinion about the prompt, you should brainstorm examples of how you'll support your thesis. You'll only use 2 or 3 of your examples, but it's best to brainstorm as many as possible. Once you begin writing, you won't have time to go back and rework your examples, so choose your strongest examples to include in the essay. Keep in mind that even though this essay prompt is based on a high school-related topic, Graders like references to examples from history, literature, current events, and politics. So don't only focus on personal examples for every prompt. Last, outline your conclusion. If need be, you can simply restate your thesis in different words, but it's best to end with a bang and state your final opinion. Now that you've brainstormed and created an outline, it's time to begin writing. Again, you should spend about 20 minutes drafting this essay. Your essay should be made up of 3 parts: an introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. The structure of your essay should follow one of these hourglass-type figures. The downward pointing arrow represents the introductory paragraph. Notice that the beginning of the essay is very general and broad, as you're introducing the prompt. Then your thesis should be a more specific thought. The 2 or 3 blocks represent the body paragraphs, which are the supporting examples you chose. The upward pointing arrow represents the concluding paragraph. The concluding paragraph begins with your specific thesis or argument restated or represented by an analogy or metaphor. Then, end the essay again with a more general thought. Now, let's look at each of the parts of your essay individually. The introduction only needs to be a couple of sentences and a thesis. You don't need to summarize your examples or do anything more than that. Your body paragraphs should all begin with a topic sentence. With the next sentence, you can provide any necessary background information to prove your point. Then, explain the logic that proves your point. Finally, you can restate your point if it doesn't seem repetitive, and then make a smooth transition into the next paragraph. As for your conclusion, remember to end with a bang. Try not to be too repetitive here, but always be sure to write a conclusion to wrap up your ideas. It's very important to write a conclusion, so if you're running out of time, it's better to cut your essay body short and write a conclusion. Before we talk about the editing process, here are some tips to help your writing. Always use active verbs, not passive verbs. Vary your sentence structure. By writing longer and shorter sentences, you'll do this naturally. So just concentrate on writing some longer and some shorter sentences within your essay. Don't misuse vocabulary. It's better to use simple words properly than if you misuse a bigger word, as this will stand out to the grader. If you can't remember the specifics of something, don't worry. For example, if you need to reference a time frame and don't know the exact date, reference a year, decade, or even century. Avoid using slang terms or jokes, as this could come across as inappropriate. And avoid using you. But this is a personal essay, so you can use I. Finally, use your remaining time editing your work. Remember, at this point, you're running low on time, so don't try to over-adjust anything. Simply edit for spelling, grammar, and punctuation. In other words, focus on making minor changes. If you need to cross out or erase something, do so neatly. The neater and more legible your essay, the better first impression you make on the grader. Now, you have the steps to writing a great standardized test essay. So, practice some on your own.